Hello everybody and welcome to Friday Prime Time, week 11 of Friday Prime Time here on the iRacing Esports Network with coverage of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, and we're bringing you all the action coming to you today from Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis, and this is certainly going to be an interesting race. A 0.7 of a mile oval here that we're going to be racing around. It's the final oval of the championship this season, so the drivers will be contending with that. As you can see, conditions on screen mostly cloudy, so track temperature's not actually that high, and we've got 90 laps around this circuit. And Ryan, we're just going through the final moments of qualifying, minute and a half to go. It's the final oval of the season. It's something that we've been looking forward to, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've definitely been looking forward to it. But this season overall, it's been absolutely fantastic to watch. It's been great racing. Final oval race of the season, and it's just amazing to think how quickly the season's flew by.
Certainly is, and these drivers, they're going out there, they're putting on a show for us. We've got 14 cars in this field today. We did get a split in the fields there, so we were hoping for a big field, but we're not getting that today. So because of the way the splitters worked, as we'll have a look at the schedule then here on screen. So as you can see, August 21st, Lucas Oil Raceway, 90 laps around this 0.7 of a mile circuit. We head on over to Laguna Seca the next week. So that'll be Friday, 9 o'clock UK time, as always. 25 laps of that venue. And then the 4th of September, the one that we're all looking forward to, the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife. 6 laps around that circuit. That is going to be carnage, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll probably be carnage, but the Nordschleife has always been a great track to race around, just about in anything, and I think it should be an exciting way to finish the season.
Absolutely. So anyway, it's good to see that qualifying is over here, so we'll be able to swing on over to our starting grid, and it will look something like this. I can tell you, Alison Walsh sharing the front row of the grid with Thomas Ziege. You can see the difference in times there, though. 2.5 tenths of a second between first and second place. Michael Stanley then ahead of Frank Again in fourth place on that second row of the grid. Jeroen Messink and Chris Willett. We've seen Chris quite a few times here on Friday Prime Time, the man from Ohio, down on row number 3. Row number 4 then is Nikita Latoshkin, and he will be sharing row number 4 with Andrew Gould. Row 5 is Dennis Cornu from France, and Kenzie Newhoff from Benelux Club. They'll be on the outside of row number 5. Row 6 then, Evan Imre from the UK, and on the outside of that row, it's Marc-Antoine Thibault from Canada on row number 6. And then the final row of the grid here, it is going to be Samuel Ryman and Ashler Beard, who did set a time, but look at that time, Ryan, 1.1 seconds slower than your pole sitter, with an average less than 200 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it's just looking at the times, it's really close, and all on the oval races this season, the lap times have always been close. The race has been close, and I think tonight for the final oval race of the season, it's going to be no exception.
Certainly, it's the drivers getting themselves ready for the start of this one. The iRacing.com pace car, the Mustang, pulling away from the start, and the drivers on the outside row taking to the track, whereas the inside row stays onto the pit exit and then joins the track later on round. And it's only a short pace lap here, just one lap for us to get these drivers, get temperature into the tyres. Could be interesting to see how they all get on, but Austin Walsh, pole position, he'll be looking for a good result here. Around turn 4 then, the iRacing.com pace car comes across the line. We'll be waiting patiently then, as I just remember as well, it's a 2-lap warm-up round here as they get on, because it is a shorter track, give them a chance to get some heat into their tyres. And unfortunately, I've not been able to race around here this week, which is I usually try and get at least one race in the week before this broadcast, but we'll see how they get on. So the pace car dropping down onto pit road then. Walsh backing up the field here, getting ready for the green flag on the inside. Walsh goes on the exit of turn 4 then. We're underway for 90 laps around Lucas Oil Raceway. Look at the high line that a lot of drivers are taking to try and carry that speed through the corners. And then you're going to see a lot of this throughout this race. The low line not really favoured by some. Most of the drivers will be taking that high line, but across the line then, one down, 89 to go. And Lastoshkin, he is down in 6th place. He's trying to just get into a rhythm here. This is the thing with the early stages here, right? You've got to get into that rhythm of the track.
Yeah, you absolutely have. And the keys to this race is going to be patience and also beware of the cold tyres, like we've mentioned at previous times this season. And also time your moves. Don't try and make a move straight away. Just let the race pan out. And then finally, you've just got to be wary of accidents happening in front of you. So a lot for these guys to think about.
Now, with this being a shorter track, lap traffic will become an issue for your leaders as we're on board with Thomas Ziegler. And we've got a yellow flag. First caution of the day. And it's Dennis Cornu who is around. So too is, it's Dennis Cornu. Raymond, I believe, may have been involved, but Cornu's in a serious state there. We'll get a replay up on screen. So you'll see Cornu there in the white car. Through into turn 3. Oh, don't say we're going to have a little bit of a pinch there on the exit. Yes, it pinched up in the exit there. He gets a tag as well from somebody else. And Cornu is the first victim of Lucas Oil Raceway.
He is, and one of the drivers, it looked like just about got taken out as well. Kenzie Newhoff as well, but he was lucky to avoid it. And unfortunately, Dennis was just a passenger and he got basically bounced around like a pinball.
Yeah, we'll have a look then from Newhoff, and on board with him. So you can see all so Newhoff is lucky with that one. It's a car, one of the red and white cars behind. It might have been actually Ashley Beard it was Thibault, I believe, who got a very close call there. In fact, he's onto pit road right now. There you go. Oh, yes, he damaged his front wing. And so that's why he's onto pit road at the moment. So Thibault does not lose a lap doing that, though. And he is getting back up underway. But that's the first caution of the race there, Ryan. And one thing I was noticing was that Walsh out at the front was just starting to pull away and to get an early lead as we'll look at the positions gained and lost.
Yeah, Austin Walsh has been pretty much the man on the oval side of the Indy Pro 2000 series this season. He's been really quick, but I think he was unfortunate at the previous oval round not to get a good result, and unfortunately got caught up in an incident. But hopefully tonight he can put that right.
So here we are then Positions gained and lost. Stanley up 1 position. Messink up 1 position. Latoshkin up 1 position as well. Neuhoff, Imre, Beard up 3 positions from the back of the grid. So Ashley is looking like he's just trying to work his way through this grid here. He didn't get a good lap time here, and he certainly will be trying to just improve throughout this race here. Worth pointing out as well, Samuel Raymond as well up 1 position in 12th place as well. So a couple of these drivers are certainly looking to get some good results here, Ryan, but the lights are still on that pace car, and Michael Stanley, I feel he's got to try and sort of tag on to the back of Walsh in this one.
Yeah, he does, and he can't get caught out at the restart. It's got to be right behind Walsh to try and possibly keep up with him. But like you mentioned, Oyson Walsh has been pretty quick, and at the start of the race he was pulling away. So hopefully he can try and make a good start again. But Stanley, like I say, he's just got to try and keep with Walsh.
Certainly does. And this is a thing. Draft isn't going to be the biggest effect here, with it being a shorter track, as the lights go off the pace car here, so we're going to be going green this time by. But you know, slipstream isn't going to be the biggest effect around here. But even with this car, even with its limited aerodynamics, the draft does take an effect.
Yeah, it does, and this track, like you say, it's not really draft dependent. It's especially if you're right behind another car, that dirty air can come into effect. So it means in some of these corners you might not get the entry right, as we're just about to get back underway, and Oyson Walsh is bunching the pack up.
He certainly is. He did this at the start of the race, and he went on the exit of turn 4, and that's exactly what he's doing again. So it's well practiced. Is that restart? Away we go again. Lap 10 of this event, and we've got some 2 wide action further back, and Lastoshkin and going swapping positions, so up to 5th now for Nikita. But green flag action once again, and it's that mid-pack where we're getting more of the action here as they head on through turns 1 and 2. And the 12 car, Chris Willett now trying to get involved. There was a car behind. That was car 14, Andrew Gould, almost up into the wall as Willett goes low side. Can't carry the speed out the corner though. That's why you see so many drivers here, Ryan, taking that high line.
And with the high line as well, if you can carry the speed and then the momentum onto the corner exit. So I think that's why most of these drivers are taking the high line, because you can just take so much more corner speed.
Round the go then, and Walsh, fastest driver, you can see him, new fastest lap up on the top of your screen there, but we're looking further down and you can see how close Frank is getting to the wall on corner exit. Now there is a problem with running that high line, Ryan, of course, which is you've not really got any real sort of if you have an issue, you're in the wall, as Ashley Beard is running slow and heading onto pit road.
Yeah, that's the only downside.
Oh, he's got damage. He's got a broken suspension. So something's happened this lap to Ashley Beard, or maybe at the end of the last lap, but he's got broken suspension. That's pretty much going to be game over for him.
Yeah, pretty much. So it looks like he might have just been caught up in an incident, but as we're just about to look at the replay now to see what happened to Beard, and it looks like he's coming out the pits, and I don't...
Yeah, he was slow. He was slow on the exit of turn down the pit straight, so he missed the pit entry to get himself. I'm wondering if he's had some contact or something in that mid-pack. Oh, yes, he has, and I'm amazed that we never got a caution out of that one.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think it just looks like Beard might have just lost by himself, possibly.
No, well, his Thibault is there, going around the outside. Yeah, he's just lost it on that low side. Oh, amazing not to catch Ryman as well. And yeah, Ashley Beard out of this race. So too is Dennis Corner. We're down to 12 cars already here, Ryan.
Yeah, and we're not even about probably we're on lap 18 at the moment, and we're not even halfway through this race. So amazingly already, attrition's starting to take effect.
Here we are then, 4th and 5th. It's Euro Messink and Nikita Lastoshkin battling it out, 4th and 5th. Around turns 1 and 2. Look at that tighter line then from the 11, and Nikita going to that lower line, trying to make that one work for him, and yeah, slides down the inside then, move him up a position up into 4th place. He's got a bit of a gap though, about 3 seconds in front of him to the podium positions, but Nikita, bit between the teeth, is on a bit of a charge here, and I would say that Jeroen Messing now is coming under serious pressure from behind here, Ryan.
Yeah, there's a bit of a pack starting to form behind him, and great battle going on at the moment, and Jeroen is just under attack, watching from behind as well, and it's what's behind, everyone's taking the high line. You can carry momentum, but also the downside is, like you mentioned earlier, if you understeer wide, you'll hit the wall, and you've got, really nowhere to go.
Here we go, dive to the inside, Chris Willett. Will he make that move stick? Yes, he does. So up into 5th place for Chris. Next one is Frank. Frank and going. I tell you what, Messing must be having problems with the setup of the car, or something's just not quite right in that car for him, and he's not quite got the pace for where he qualified here, Ryan, because he's got to best part of 10 laps green flag racing now, and he's just struggling with the handling of that car.
Yeah, it just seems to be he can't carry that momentum on the high line, and he's just or maybe not being able to get back on the power like he would like to, but it's just allowing these guys behind to close up to him, and he's losing positions hand over fast.
Oh, big accident that one. Kenzie Newhoff went to the low side there on Jeroen Messing and had to get out of it, stamp on the brakes, and that loses him control. We'll get a replay up on screen, but that's a huge one. We'll want to have a look from on board, I feel, because it's just, the gap was there. You'll see it here. So the gap is there on in towards turn 3, and just that last move across from the car on the inside, and Jeroen Messing. Oh, and another car was almost caught up in that one as well. I believe that was Thibault again, missing another accident to Thibault. 2 yellow flags, and almost getting caught up in this second one, Ryan.
Yeah, just watching the replay now from Mark's on board, and he sees the accident in front of him, and he actually has to do a spin and avoidance so he doesn't hit Newhoff's. So good avoidance.
360 no scope right there from Marc-Antoine, as well as Evan Imre as well. He took avoiding action, had to take avoiding action in this one as well. One final look here. Oh, that was so close. Nice drift, well held, kept out the wall. Good job there, Evan. We'll get another look at that one. Just look at that. On the stamp of the brakes. Don't let it go up into the wall. You can see how close it gets as well. Slowed right down there. Great stuff from Connery on the production. Slides, lock up the brakes. Don't let it hit that wall. And away we go. That was sensational. What we are going to do just quickly here is we're just going to step aside just for a moment, just whilst we get everything sorted, ready for the restart. Welcome back then to Friday night prime time here at Lucas Oil Raceway. The lights are off the pace car. We're going to be green flag racing. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. Second place, Michael Stanley has no front wing. He's in second place. He's a bit of a sitting duck. But how will he do around the corners? Well, Oyster Walsh, another great start from him. You can see the understeer there for Stanley. He's struggling. He was commenting over the radio that track position is so huge around this track, but I think he's made a massive error not coming down and getting repairs done to that, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused why he never came into the pits, say, under the caution. I mean, he wouldn't have lost as much time getting that wing repaired, but just staying out with no front wing means you don't have any downforce for the corners, and watching Michael at the moment, he's paying for that. Yeah,
he's falling down like a rock down through a pool. Is Michael, so down to 8th place now in this one. Don't forget, live timing and scoring is available. Racebot.tv/timing2, as Marc-Antoine Thibault was getting a bit sketchy. But looking forward then, Chris Willett, Frankengein, trying to battle it out, 4th and 5th place. Good news for Nikita Latoshkin, because that means that he has we've got a spinner. Dennis Cornu has come back out the pits and he's spun it. So number 3 car has spun it on the exit of turn 2. Here comes your leaders as well, and he's going to be returning to the track right in front of these guys. And Thomas Ziegler having to go the long way around Dennis.
Yeah, that was unfortunate timing, but Ziegler managed to get round the back marker without any issues. We watched the replay of Dennis, and it just looks like he lost it by himself.
Yeah, he does tag that wall, but not too much damage done to the car. Because he went to the inside, because he spun to the inside, that means that we don't get a caution, so we stay green flag racing. But here we are then, it is Frankengein in 5th place, Chris Willett in 4th place, Ohio versus Canada, as they're heading down the back straight, heading towards 3 and 4. Through they go. These drivers have been pretty close together, battling it out. But I was going to mention that Nikita Latoshkin will be happy with the issues of Michael Stanley, because that meant that he could gain a position up into the podium spots now. So that's good news for Nikita. But if Michael Stanley's not careful, he's going to actually be lapped in a couple of laps' time. So that gamble that he's taken, not taking repairs, is just backfiring massively, because if there is a caution and he pits to get his new front wing, he's still going to be a lap down here, Ryan. Yeah,
and I think if I was Michael, I'd just dive into the pits now. I mean, you've got, at this point anyway, where he is, he's got nothing to lose, and he's just losing.
Oh, we've got a yellow. How handy! Now that was I'm trying to find who it was then. Ashley Beard, yeah, Ashley Beard. So he's already been in the wars once, as Ashley's come back out the pits to try and at least get something out of this race. And here we are. Oh, he's just oh no, that's on the exit of turn 2 into 3 and 4, and that car, it's not been nice to him as this car here around here. Bang, into the wall. Now, do you know what is really handy there for Michael Stanley? He was about a lap and a half away from getting lapped there, Ryan. He gets to make a free pit stop here and stay on the lead lap.
Exactly, and with the cautions, you don't really lose too much time with the pit stops as well, because you can just basically get in, change the front nose or repair the damage, and then get out and not lose too much time. And it also allows you to catch back up to the pack. And
you could get some new tyres as well.
And that
which around a track like this, you wouldn't think that I'd have too much effect. But because it is a track where you're going to be trying to carry as much speed as possible, you're going to be accelerating out of corners and really pushing on that. That could actually make a big deal here. So if I was Michael, I would dive onto pit road right now, which he is doing, and get that free pit stop. Evan Imre has decided to head onto pit road as well. So a couple of drivers, a couple of takers down onto the pit lane, thinking, do you know what? a fresh set of boots right now. Well, okay, Michael's getting repairs done as well, but a fresh set of boots could actually help throughout the rest of this race here.
It could, and also the people are staying out, they'll be on old rubber, but with the people that have got new rubber on as well, that means they can go out and just basically push, and it can actually give them a chance to pounce as well, because the people on the old rubber can't really do anything like to try and fight them off just because they're on old rubber, and they'll start losing grip.
So Michael Stanley will be loving how that car feels right now. Front wing attached once again, but we're coming up to the halfway point of this race. This is the third caution here, Ryan, and Orson Walsh has just been imperious at the front, hasn't he?
Yeah, no one's really touched him at the moment. He's just been out there just every time we've got underway after the restarts, he's just pulled away, built up a bit of a gap, and he's just pretty much in command at the moment. But right behind him is Thomas Ziegler, who's been having a good race so far, up into second place, and could maybe give Orson Walsh a challenge.
Samu Ryman has been onto pit road as well, so that's new tyres for him. So down to 11th for him. Dennis Cornu is still out there, by the way. He's a number of laps down, 23 laps down on the race leader. He's just wanted to get some laps in and try and keep out of trouble and at least get up to 12th place, because Ashley Beard and Kenzie Newhoff are both being parked up on new pit road. And in fact, Beard has in fact left the server. So he'll at least want to gain a couple of positions, will Dennis, because being car number 3, he wants to mitigate any loss of I rating here.
Yeah, and he might also just going around the track as well. Yeah, you might be like miles back or laps back, but you can still save some safety rating as we're about to get underway with the restart.
Certainly are. So Walsh at the front. Will he make it 4 starts out of 4 to get the jump? Here we go again. You would think that Thomas Ziegler would learn where Oyson starts from, but it's a green flag racing once again, and it's that battle for second place. And look at that, Nikita Latoshkin down the bottom line, not able to make that move stick, but he's setting his stall out here. He wants to move up into that second place. Further back, Messing has moved up ahead of Thibault, so change position for 7th and 8th places there early on, but we're underway and we're into the second half of the race already.
Absolutely, and Oyson Walsh again pretty much just pulling away and building up a gap already, but Thomas Ziegler is managing to kind of keep in touch with him. Ziegler's building up a gap behind him slowly as well, so Oyson Walsh and Thomas Ziegler are slowly pulling away from the rest of the pack as it stands.
They certainly are, and Latoshkin not able to hang with Ziegler or Walsh. The rest of your field are going. Now it's Chris Willett and Frank Nguyen who are in 4th and 5th place. They are about half a second back from Latoshkin, so they can sniff a podium here. And if they bide their time and not fight each other too hard, they could keep on Nikita's coattails and try and keep with him throughout the rest of this race. I would imagine we're going to get maybe 1 or 2 more cautions. Kenzie Newhoff, by the way, did try and leave pit road, but then has decided to park the car again. So he's decided that's a bad job and has called it a day again as onto pit road. But the battle on track then, Frank Nguyen putting the pressure on here, Ryan. You can see able to push wide there. He's just pushing that car just that little bit more, I feel.
Yeah, he's just watching his own board. It looks like he's absolutely just pushing as much as possible, and he's trying to keep Chris under pressure as Frank just runs a little bit wide, but is able to keep the momentum up. And at the moment, Chris is managing to hold on to this 4th position as Frank again goes wide and takes the higher line, and loses a bit of it. This time loses a bit of speed on the exit.
Now, as we've got a caution, and that, I believe, is going to be Evan Imrez. Oh, it's Cornu again. So Cornu, and I think this is going to be his day done now, because that car is distinctly second-hand right now. It's got a wheel hanging off. You can see the suspension elements, the springs, and everything there for all to see. So, Dennis, I think it's time to park that car because, just in case you couldn't see one of the many issues on the car there, our producer, Connor, is into the pits. Well held, I will say that. And in fact, he has now lost that wheel. So, Dennis, I think his day is done here, as we'll hopefully get a replay of that.
Yeah, that damage is basically, that's going to be too much to repair. And just looking at the replay to see what happened to Dennis, and he might have just lost it by himself as he comes round onto the exit, and the fine there comes round into the final corner, and it looks like he might have just lost it by himself. And he does lose it by himself.
Oh, that's car 4. That's Evan Imray. And he'll have taken damage there. Michael Stanley, by the way, has headed onto pit road again. So the man who was running with no front wing, and wait for a second, wait for the server to send us the information to our broadcasting booth. There we go. Wheels still attached to that car. So Evan Imray, I have a funny feeling he'll be heading onto pit road with that one. But in fact, there he is, right on cue, onto pit road. What we'll do is quickly step aside. You won't miss a thing though as we go. Racespot TV, side by side. Welcome back there. It's a live coverage Friday prime time of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship here from Lucas Oil Raceway. Paul Smith, Ryan Walker on commentary for you here on Racespot TV. But we're getting underway. Green flag again and again. Oyster Walsh gets a brilliant jump, and here comes Nikita Latoshkin down the inside. I'll get my teeth in as well in a second, but Latoshkin just not able to make that move stick. But Thomas Seeger, every restart we've had, including the race start, has just been caught napping.
Yeah, he should have been more aware in the restart. He should have been right behind. I keep saying it, be right behind Walsh to try and catch him out. But again, Walsh has just been a master at the restarts this evening so far, and he's pulling away.
Into 3 and 4 they go, and Latoshkin now has to look behind because Chris Willett is putting pressure on, and so too Chris Willett has to look behind to Frank Goyne as well. So close battling again. One benefit of this, of course, is that all the field gets bunched up together again, and they're able to get racing, close racing once again. We're into the final third of this race here. Lap 62, and it is Walsh ahead of Ziega, Latoshkin in third, Willett and Goyne, Gould 6th place for him. Messing down to 7th. He'll be slightly disappointed with that. Marc-Antoine Thibault, great moving up the field for him in 8th place, with Samuel Ryman in 9th place. And Michael Stanley, the man who ran with no front wing after the second caution, should I say, he is down in 10th place. But you can see, Ryan, Walsh and Ziegler just seem to have the edge over everyone else here on this field, looking at that graphic.
Yeah, they do, and I'm actually looking at the gap between Walsh and Ziegler. Walsh is actually, this time around, he's actually not pulling away that much, and Ziegler is just looking at it, managing to maintain that gap.
So this is it. How do you set up your car? How do you set up the tyres to work with this track? Do you set it for the long run? I saw some smoke for a second on my end, but luckily everyone's still going. We're on green flag racing. Down into 3 and 4. And we've got movement further back, and it's Thibault and Messing. Now, Thibault is an interesting one because he's the first of our drivers who are on newer tyres. His tyres are 39 laps old, whereas Messing, who's in front of him, his tyres have been on from the start of the race. So, interested to see how this goes here and whether that low line does come into play, as Nguyen looking to that low line now, trying to make moves.
He is, and again, he's managing to stay in front of him, having used that high line, but Gojin is trying to make a move now, because we're just about in the last half of this race, and he's realising it now. He's got to start making moves.
That's it. When you're getting further on, you need to make those moves. And when it's a short track like this, I mean, you're talking an 18.5-second lap for your leaders. The laps just fly by and time runs out before you know it. Lap 69 to the inside of 1 and 2, but it's not going to work for you, is that? It's a difficult track to overtake at because of the fact that the high line, where you carry the most speed, is the favoured line here.
It is, and Frank, this time around, he's much closer, but it's just a matter of getting by. He's just about up the inside. Can he get the move done? And they should be alongside each other. No, actually they're not.
It's the speed that they can carry out of the corner here, and Chris Willett doing a superb job, the man from Ohio, into 1 and 2, and going to the low side of 1 and 2, and this time he's got a bit of a better run through there, but he's not able to carry the speed, and that's the problem with the low line round here. You just have to slow down, you scrub off too much speed, so when it comes to corner exit, you're just left standing.
Yeah, and Nguyen is just, he keeps getting a run, he keeps getting close, but again, that low line, it just you scrub off the speed, and Chris is able to use that high line to carry more momentum and more corner speed than the exit, so it's kind of swings and roundabouts.
Look further back in that queue. The yellow black car of Michael Stanley has worked his way forward to the front of the cars who have taken pit stops and taken tyres. So Michael, he started in 3rd place. We know he's got the pace in that car. He is consistently 1/10, 2/10 quicker than a Messing in front of him. He needs to start making some moves as we head on towards 26 to go. And Michael looking to that lower side, and you would think that hopefully the extra grip from his tyres are only 20 laps old, by the way. You would think that lower line might be more viable to cars that have got that bit more adhesion from their tyres here, right?
Absolutely, as Michael's up the inside now, he's just about up the inside. Can he get alongside on the exit? And no, he can't, but again, he's a quicker car, but it's just a matter of making a move, and it's so difficult in that low line because sometimes you just scrub off the speed, and it looks like Michael's got the run now.
Yeah, he's got the nose inside. Now if he can hold it to the inside here and carry it through side by side on the corner exit, he's just not got enough in front to be able to make it work. Now as it goes side by side through 1 and 2 again, and Stanley just not able to make it work, but that was his best opportunity the last time by. You could see you've got to try and keep it side by side going into 3 and 4, or even into 1 and 2, which is what he's doing right now. You've got to try and keep that inside line and make it work to be able to drift up He's still there, and he's still trying his best to get past Jeroen, and this is when he's going to make it count. He's slotted it in front, but look at that. It's taken 5-6 laps of that move for it to work here.
Absolutely, that was a fantastic racing between those two guys. They gave each other plenty of room and plenty of respect, and vital as well. Michael managed to get that move done.
I can tell you, Alison Walsh has pulled away now, 2.4 seconds ahead of Thomas Ziege at the front of your field. Chris Willett and Frank Goyen still battling it out for 4th and 5th place. We've got 11 cars remaining in this race. Evan Imre is 1 lap down at the back of your field. And now Michael Stanley, I know we can't see him on screen, but I can see him on the timing screen. He's putting in the fast laps. He was 0.2 of a second quicker on that last lap alone than Andrew Gould. And all of a sudden, Stanley is trying to make some moves, but time is running out because there's only 9 laps remaining here.
Yep, and Michael's got the run on it. Andrew is ahead down into turn 1, and yeah, it looks like Michael's trying to get up the inside, but again, that high line is just proving crucial for Andrew Gould, who manages to hold the position. But again, Michael is so close. Yeah,
and Michael, he because of that extra grip in his tyres, he can make that middle line, I suppose it would be, make that work, but he's got to make it work over 2-3 laps as he pushed wide there on the exit of 2. Had to get out the throttle, now into 3, takes that lower line in, trying to carry the speed on corner exit, not able to work, but time running out here for Michael, looking low side again. Got to try and carry the speed, getting that slipstream as much as he can, dives it really low. He's not going to hold it alongside, and the back end's around. Oh, in 2. Oh, that's messing. You're messing. Oh my goodness, we've got a caution. I think we might be close to being done here because Michael Stanley, oh, that's heartbreaking. He was going for it here, Ryan. He's back up and running again. You're messing because I had to take a tour, but we'll have a look at it on the replay.
Yeah, Michael was having a great recovery drive, and he was doing so well. He tries to get up the inside, and he just lost it on the low line, and unfortunately, Jeroen Messink just came round and had nowhere to go.
Yeah, Jeroen, just wrong place, wrong time right there. I think he only had one wheel attached to the car by the end of that. We'll see it again. Look in front. There goes Michael. Bang! Nowhere for Jeroen to go at all. That is his day done. Marc-Antoine Thibault is onto pit road, I could tell you, as we'll have a look. Evan Imre came around here as well. And it's just where that transitions. That banking transitions. Oh, he almost collected the front nose cone there, actually, as they went around then. So, will we get any more green flag racing? We may get a white-green to end the race here, Ryan.
It's possible. I mean, we're on we're just about to come up to the end of lap 87, so we might possibly get a one-lap shootout, which would be kind of cool.
Well, here we go. We'll see how this all pans out. There will be no advert break. We're staying with this live to the end now. We've got 9 cars on track right now, I could tell you. Because out there at the moment, Alison Walsh, who has led from start, from the first green flag drop, he's been there at the front. He's been the master of this track here. Thomas Ziege, second place. If we do get a restart, we need to see the lights go off on that pace car in front of us this time by. We need to see no lights on that car. We'll see that in a second. Will we get that? No, we won't. So we will be finishing the race. Well, no. Yeah, we'll be finishing the race. That'll be it. So this is going to be your order then. It is going to be Alison Walsh who's going to win this race. Thomas Ziege is going to be in second place then, ahead of Nikita Latoshkin. Good result for Nikita, up 4 places in this race then. see the standings on the side there. And the thing is, it is heartbreaking that we had it happen right there, because I would have loved a one-lap shootout. But with the way that Walsh had been on restarts, Ryan, he was just unstoppable.
He was, and I think, judging by his previous restarts as well, it would have been hard to catch him out. And it's unfortunate we're entering under a safety car, but that's just that's the way the oval races go sometimes.
Yeah. So around they go then. Last lap. It's a display for Oyson Walsh at the front of your field, and well, Michael Stanley has got back out the pit, so he's going to be running. So it's going to be 10 cars running at the end of this one. But do you know what? That was really entertaining, even though we had these few cautions. But that was, I certainly think that was better than I expected, if I'm at all honest. But across the line, then, Oyson Walsh with the victory for him. The man from the UK and Ireland, he's done a fantastic job on the ovals this season, and he has done it once again out here at Lucas Oil Raceway. But let's take you then to your official race results here on week 11 of Friday Prime Time here in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship on the iRacing Esports Network. And it's Oyson Walsh then who wins this one ahead of Thomas Ziegler in second place. Those two pretty much at the front of the field for the majority of the race. Nikita Latoshkin, great result to finish in third place, up 4 positions there. Chris Willett as well, up 2 positions to 4th place for him. Frank Ngoyen, he'll be a little bit disappointed with how that one goes, because it was 5th place for him, down 1 position from where he started. Andrew Gould, 6th place in the end, and Samuel Ryman, great result, up 6 positions then in 7th place, ahead of Marc-Antoine Thibault, who's in 8th place. Evan Imray, 9th place, 1 lap down, did finish the race, as did Michael Stanley, who did get on to finish this race in 10th place. Drivers who did not finish, well, Jeroen Messing, oh, how heartbreaking was it for him to end up out of this race, having that major accident which brought out that final caution of the race. Kenzie Newhoff, well, he was one of our early victims of this track. He tried several times to get out pit road but didn't manage it in the end, finishing 12th. Dennis Cornu did manage to get some laps in, but caused a second caution from him. And Ashley Beard, just how unlucky was it for the man from the UK and Ireland. But Ryan, even though we did have a few cautions here, it was actually it was an entertaining race, a real sort of tricky race of attrition. Ryan, I can't hear you speak right now. We'll hopefully get that sorted out, and hopefully we'll get Ryan back on for us here. Hopefully he can speak to us now.
Is that better?
Yes, that is better. We got you in the end there.
Yeah, that race was pretty good. I really enjoyed that race. It was a commanding race and a well-deserved victory for Oyson Walsh, who basically got every restart textbook perfect and managed to pull away and take a commanding win. But also, it was a great result for Thomas Ziegler. But overall, that race was really good to watch, and there was great racing going on in the mid-pack as well.
Well, that's it. You saw Latoshkin making some moves forward. You had Chris Willett and Frank Ngoyen, who were just inseparable throughout the majority of the race as well. One thing to point out, Oyson Walsh, he got the Triple Crown. He got pole position, fastest lap, race win. Oh, and guess what? He also led every single lap of this race as well. So an absolutely dominant display from him. And right now, we'll have a word with him. And Ryan, why don't you take it away with race winner?
Certainly, as a race winner, Oyson Walsh joins us in the booth now. And Oyson, that race was pretty commanding from your perspective. And those restarts, every time you just got them textbook perfect. Talk about the race for you.
Yeah, it was, I mean, to be honest, I did expect a bit more kind of competition. I know Team Talent are usually the ones on pace with me and Jesse and Tom, but none of them ran any of the broadcasted oval races. So we haven't, especially here with a lot, I mean, the draft is bad here, you don't want it. Whereas Gateway, it was a pack race, and it was pretty much the same at Phoenix. So I think really the setup was a big help. My force feedback went with 15 to go, so that kind of led to me burning the right front off a bit at the end. But other than that, I think I had a fairly significant setup advantage over pretty much everyone else.
And this car around this track, what did you think of it? And what is the racing been like for you this week? Is it a car that, or is it a track you'd like this car to come back to? What do you think?
It's fun to drive. I enjoyed making the setup for it, but you just can't pass. Like even in cold weather, I don't think you can really get close at all. And if you go more than 2 car lengths off the wall, it's just not quick enough. So, like, I know they race here in real life. I'm not quite sure how what we have here stacks up to that, but I don't know. We probably shouldn't put it back on the schedule, unless it's the week where they run it in real life, just because you can't pass. There is just an incredible amount of aero push. Unless you get an extremely cold race or you have a very good setup, there's not a hope.
And lastly, before we let you head off, is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to or any thanks to?
Jesse Atchison and Tom Moustakis, they're the guys that I work on the setups on for the ovals.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Foyson, and again, congratulations on your win, and we look forward to seeing you on track next time.
Thanks.
As that was race winner Ice Moise joining us, and like we said before, Paul, that was a pretty commanding win for Ison, and well deserved.
Yeah, I think one thing that we did notice throughout that race was exit of turn 4, when you had cars going lower down, the car was just breaking away from them. And we saw that with, most recently, that Michael Stanley incident. Ashley Beard had that as well, and somebody else as well had that around that turn 4 exit, getting down lower down, and the car was just breaking away.
Yeah, it seems to be if you get the lower you get or the tighter you get on the track in the middle of the corners, it seems to make the car break away. I don't know if it's maybe bumps in the middle of the corner or if it's just the nature of the car, but from my experience racing on the ovals this season, with it seems to be you can't really overdrive the car on the ovals anyway. Otherwise, it'll just punish you.
Well, we'll look on forward now to next week then, and that is, of course, Laguna Seca, a track that pretty much all the drivers know like the back of their hand because they'll have been able to have done that throughout their iRacing careers. And this track here, as we see the calendar there, 25 laps around there. It can be a difficult track to overtake at, actually, but it should give us some good action in this car, actually.
It should, and Laguna Seca, it seems to be one of those tracks, talking to people, it's one of those Marmite tracks, you love it or hate it. Especially, there's not really that many places to place, but the corkscrew, for me anyway, it's one of those exciting corners because you go into the corner, there's nothing, you can't really see the corner until you turn into it, and then on the exit, it's one of those corners, if you take it wrong, the car just bottoms out and it'll spin or spit you into the wall. So I'm looking forward to next week, and it should be interesting to see how it goes.
Absolutely. So, of course, that was the last of our oval races here on Friday Prime Time for this season in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. And make sure you join us next week then for the Laguna Seca and the penultimate round of the championship. Now, don't go anywhere because on the iRacing Esports Network right now is the IndyCar series as well, the iRacing IndyCar series. They're racing at Indianapolis Motor Speedway at the moment, so make sure you head on over to them to check out the job from Arjuna, Samil and Tyler on that broadcast. But from ourselves here, this is going to be everything wrapped up for us then, and Connery Maddock behind the scenes in charge of our cameras, Tyler Maxson for the cameras as well, and Ryan Walker as always joining us here on the commentary. But for myself, Paul Smith, thank you very much for joining us here, and join us next week 8 o'clock UTC, 9 o'clock UK time for week 12 of 13 of the iRacing Indy Pro 2000 Championship.